Hello everyone, welcome to Gardening TLC. I am Michelle and I live in Northern Illinois, Zone 5. You might be wondering why I'm standing in the middle of a parking lot. Well, do you want to see a transformation? Well, we're about to make this area back here into a beautiful employee oasis for the people that own auto enhancers. They've hired my company to totally transform this area. We're going to be putting up a pergola, putting in a patio, a seat wall. We'll have raised beds, landscaping. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. So if you want to see the transformation, come along with us today. Let's get at it. So where do you start on a project like this? Well, first you kind of have to have a design and measure out what it is that you're going to do. So we did it on paper. We know exactly where everything's going to go. This is going to be very geometrical. So it's going to have a lot of right angles in it, a lot of squares in it, because we want to match the shape of the pergola, the patio, and the garden beds to everything else that's around it. The brick is on the way for the patio. The pergola will be here tomorrow, but we have to core it out, compact in our gravel, and put footings in for the pergola. That's step one. I'm going to give you a rough idea of what we're doing so that you kind of will have a visual. So as you can see here, I have a big square right here that I painted out, and it's not exactly square because you over dig what you're doing a patio in. You usually want to over dig it by a foot on all sides. But if you look here, you can see that I have marked out a 14 foot by 14 foot square, and that's going to be the patio. Inside that 14 by 14 foot square, I have put 4 flags set 2 feet in on all 4 corners, and that will be where we auger holes, and we're going to drop concrete footings in there because that is where we need to put the pergola, and we need to make sure that we can secure it, and we need to make sure that it can handle the weight, which this one is a metal one with a hard top roof, so I'm not so worried about the weight. I really need the footings to be able to anchor the poles to so the wind doesn't take anything that we put in here structurally. So that will be what's in this 14 by 14 foot area. As you swing this way, you can see that I did roughly draw in 4 rectangles in a circle. So the 4 rectangles are our 3 by 6 raised beds that we're going to be putting in here. They are metal. We will be filling them, and then we have this beautiful concrete urn that we'll be putting in the middle. This outside edge here, you can see the line, and none of this stuff is straight. This was all rough for you guys so that you could kind of get a feel for what we're doing. This is going to have an edger on it here so that we keep the gravel and the nice area that we're creating separate. Now we will be using what's called spar dust in this area here because it's easier to walk on and we can compact it in. So all around the raised beds, that's what that product is going to be. And then if you come back this way, you can see I did draw another line back here. So this line back here is like the back edge of the raised bed area. There will be edgers right here. And then this is a landscaped area back here that will have plants. It's going to have things that can grow in native soil. We do have a tree that will be going in the corner. And then we're going to have grasses, echinacea, coneflowers, and some taller columnar. And I haven't decided if we're going to use junipers or arborvitaes. Those will go in there. And then if you come this way, this back area here will also be landscaped. We'll have a tree in the far right corner over here. And then we have a seat wall that will go back behind the whole length of the patio. So that's what these double lines represent right there. Now this line right here represents the edge of the patio. So you've got the square patio in here. And then we will have landscaping along this edge of the patio as well. Now these piles of gravel will be gone. We will spread out some gravel in this area, and then as we come all the way along to the back fence line, we will be dropping some landscape timbers 3 feet out from the fence, and we will also put it in front in a line the whole entire length of the area that we're doing. And then we're going to be planting a living wall along this whole fence that will totally grow up the fence and cover it. So we're going to do that as well. And then you can see the pink flag, I don't know if you can see it, all the way over here. So this is the whole area. It's going to go from here all the way to there, and then all the way over, and then all the way up. All right, so that is what we're transforming with raised beds, landscaping, a paver patio, and a pergola. It's going to look so cool. All right, first things first, we have to core out the area for the patio, which is this square right here. We also have to scrape all these weeds out because I don't want to mess with those later. So we've taken the skid steer and we're just going to run the bucket through and scrape it all out. First we corded out, we went down about 10 inches. Now we are gonna put the gravel in, we're gonna compact it in 2-inch lifts. The reason we do this is so that we get really good compaction all the way through, so that here in Northern Illinois, we do get a heave thaw that happens, and we want the whole thing to be able to move up and down with the weather and with the ground as it freezes and it thaws. Now we will get the gravel wet, and then we're gonna compact it in, add more gravel, get it wet, compact it in, do that 3 times. We went down 10 inches and we're gonna be a little bit above grade when we're done, which would be the top of the parking lot, because we have landscaping that's gonna go all around the patio. All right, so here we go. Let's get the compactor started and get going. We have compacted in our first level of gravel. Now I cored this down to 10 inches, but that was eyeballing it with a machine. But I've done this enough that I know how deep 10 inches is. Now I want my patio to sit a 1/2 inch above the grade of the parking lot. And the reason being is this parking lot looks like it's a little bit sloped from the building out to here. And I don't want all the water to run this way onto my patio. So I'm gonna set it a 1/2 inch higher. I also have edging that's going around the whole entire thing, so that will make a difference too. So what I did was I pounded a stake in the ground, and then I ran a string line over to the parking lot to see where the grade was, and then I adjusted it a 1/2 inch up. I ran it all the way across to the other pole that I have here, and then I put a bubble level on it to make sure that we are level. Right now we're about 9 inches below the level of that line. When it's all said and done, I need the gravel to be 3.5 inches below the line. And the reason being is because I want to put 3/4 inches of sand down. That's my leveling sand. And then I want to have my brick go in, and that brick is 2 3/4 inches. So that's 3.5. That's what I need to be below. Right now we need to get 6 more inches of gravel compacted in. We'll do that in lifts. And right now he is adding the second layer, which will spread around, and then we'll get it wet, run the compactor again. We'll do this 2 more times and see where we're at. Jameson, you want to look at the bubble level?
Yes.
Hold on, let me get it tight. All right, up or down?
Down.
Oh, right there?
Yeah.
Wow, I got it on the first try. Hey everybody, welcome to day 2. So today is mobilization day. We are going to be bringing almost all of the product that we need to do this job to the job. There are a lot of different pieces that go with this job. We're not working on the patio today. My pergola did not come yesterday. So we're going to work on a bunch of things around the patio. We're going to get our bee stone down over here. We're going to get our living wall planted. We're going to get the raised beds. So a lot of different things that we can do today instead of the patio. We'll just work around it. So let's get going. We are working on the area that's next to the patio and the landscaping. This is just an area that I want to look nicer than just gravel. So we're putting down what's called river rock. I'm using a medium-sized stone that's anywhere from 1/4 inch to 3/4 inch. So my whole purpose here is just not to have road gravel here. I just want a nicer look. So we're doing that first, then we're gonna work on the living wall. Kimmy went to go get the landscape timbers and the rest of the brick edging that we need. While we're waiting for her to get back with that, we're gonna actually clean up the edge of the fence. That way we can put the landscape timbers right up against the fence. I really wanna create like a little box that I can put really good container soil in, and that's what we're gonna plant the plants in that are gonna go on the fence to create the living wall. After she brings us all of that, then she'll go get another load of river rock and bring that here. But this gives us stuff to do in between while we're waiting for her to get back, because she's my runner today. Hello everyone, welcome to day 3. So let's take a look at everything that we got done yesterday, because I thought it was a very productive day and we made good progress. I have a pretty awesome team. There was 4 of them yesterday, and Kimmy spent most of the day running back and forth and was able to do a few things for us here on the job site. But I'm telling you, they got a lot done yesterday. I was pretty happy. So not only did we get the garden beds over there set in place, that's where they're gonna go. We also got our sono tubes right here for our footings all drilled out and put in place. We got some of the planting done and we put some dirt in back there. A lot of the edging went in. The rock work got done. Let's take a closer look at everything that we did. I'm so happy with how far that we got. Today we're going to be buttoning up some of the outside projects. The pergola is supposed to be here today between 10 and 2, and tomorrow's supposed to be rain, so I kind of got to wait and see what happens with that. All right, let's start over here with the garden beds. Now, as you can see, we did edge this side as well with the Belgium edgers, and what we did was we ran a string line so that we could put these in a straight line. So they border the whole area on this side, and then if you swing over this way, it borders over here as well and separates the rock area from the whole landscaped area. So those bricks will actually be on 3 sides, so they'll be in the front as well. Next, let's look at the beds. There are 3 feet in between them, going this way right here. That way they can walk all the way around all the beds and be able to have good access. On the outside edge of the beds right here, there's 4 feet on this side, and there's 4 feet on the other side. So that's from the edge of the patio. So good access all the way around. We have 8 feet from this back corner to this bed. That way, even though we put the concrete pot in here, she'll still have plenty of room to walk around that pot. I do like these garden beds. They are powder coated steel. They're 6 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 2 feet high. So I like that they're a raised bed. I like that they look pretty, and I like that she'll be able to garden a lot of different things in these beds. We put a layer of logs in the bottom, then we'll put a layer of debris, then we're gonna put topsoil and then compost. Now over time, the debris and the logs will break down, but every year, you have sinking in your beds, and that's okay, because you do want to be able to top new compost every year when you're replanting to recharge your soil. That's one of the things we're going to get done today, is filling these. We got them set and leveled yesterday, so Yay. I love the living wall. I think this turned out so great. Now we're using clematis on the wall. We ended up planting 10 of them. 2 of them are colored clematis that bloom earlier, and the rest of them are all the sweet autumn. Now the sweet autumn clematis grows in zone 4 through 9, and they will cover this whole fence. They are great for growing on a fence. They're great for hiding things and just making that living wall. They'll take probably 3 years to totally fill in, but when they do, they'll be absolutely fabulous. Now on 2 of the poles, one of them being right here, I did plant 2 colored clematis that actually bloom earlier. So this one here is the Jackmani. It's the purple one, and it again grows in zone 4 through 9. This one flowers in the summer. And then if we come down to the other pole, I planted the Niobe, which is the red one. So that will grow, and they'll have a little splash of color back here. And then underneath it, I underplanted with some sedum. And I ended up using the Sun Sparkler series, the Lime Zinger. I really like the Lime Zinger. This one is 4 to 6 inches high, and they grow about 18 inches wide, and they will totally fill in down here. Now, in the middle, I used a Juga. This is the Catlin's Giant, and these will get little blue flowers all over them. It'll totally fill in this area. Now, the purpose of the ground cover is to bring the temperature of this area down, and it's really important when you're growing clematis that you mulch them and keep your soil cool. So basically they want shade on their roots and sun on their face. Now over here we did get our grasses in. This is a panicum. This is a northwind, one of my favorite grasses. Absolutely gorgeous. It grows straight and erect and upright. It's got a beautiful green color to it. Gets 6 to 7 feet tall, grows in full sun, tolerant of a wide range of soils. So this one here grows in zone 2 through 10, deer resistant, absolutely gorgeous grass. I love the northwind. I love the Panicum series, but this is one of my favorites. Now in front of that, we have hydrangeas. We are using the little quick fires. I wanted something that bloomed a little bit earlier for her, and we decided to use these. They grow in zone 3 through 8. These get anywhere from 3 to 5 feet tall and wide. They start white when they bloom a month earlier than the other hydrangeas, and then they turn that pretty pink and then a deep dark mauve in the fall. These guys are very cold hardy, and they're just absolutely gorgeous. Their only maintenance on this is they have to cut the panicles off in the spring and cut the grasses back. That's it. So pretty low maintenance, and both of these will grow in this area. The other thing we did was we did get all this rock work done so that this area over here is a lot prettier. And the other purpose of doing this over here like this was if she decides that she wants to get a fire pit, she can get a fire pit in here with chairs around it. So that's another reason we did that. This is a walkway so that she can have maintenance on what she's got going on. So we've got trees going in here and some little plantings through here, but she's got to have access to things. So we did another walkway back here so that she could get to everything. Then the last thing that we got done yesterday was we did auger a bunch of holes. We augered the holes for the hydrangeas that we put in. We augered the holes for where the trees are going to go, and we augered the holes for our sonotubes. This is what we're going to be using for the footings for our pergola. Look, the guys are here, they're unloading stuff. Here's our beautiful concrete urns. Aren't these absolutely great? These are concrete urns from a company called Continental Studio. I use them a lot to get my product. I love these. And so 2 of them will be in front of the pergola and the patio, and the other one will be in the center of the 4 beds over there. That's a wrap for day 3. I am so happy with everything that we got done today. We got all of the plantings done. We got the raised beds filled, and I didn't think we'd get to the patio, but we got the patio laid too. So now that the pergola is here, we can get the footings done and get the pergola up, and we're almost done. we still have to do that, put a seat wall up, and then put the spar dust down around the raised beds. Oh my gosh, I love how this is turning out, and I love all the plants that we chose. So I already walked you through the hydrangeas and the panicums this morning, but I did plant 3 9-barks back here. Now I chose the 9-barks because 9-barks really don't want to be pruned. They want to grow to their size, get their beautiful shape, and then kind of be left alone. Now this one is called Coppertina. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I love this. I chose some pretty hardy perennials to put in here because we want to attract pollinators to this bed, because we are going to be trying to grow vegetables and herbs. Well, not we, but they are going to be growing vegetables and herbs. So I chose the American Gold Rush Rebeckia. This is a really hardy, reliable Rebeckia. It blooms in July and August, gets 22 to 26 inches high. Look at that pretty flower on there, about 18 to 22 inches wide. Absolutely beautiful, zone 4 through 9, and they will grow in this kind of condition. I wanted a little bit of winter interest down here. These will grow in the parking lot conditions that we have here. They will grow up to 20 degrees below zero, so that's zone 5 where we are living. And these guys get anywhere from 12 to 15 feet high, about 3 feet wide, but I just love them. I love the green color, and they'll do really well out here. They just got to make sure they water them well to get them established. I did put a Wagilla in here as well. These also grow well in compacted soil. This is also one that you don't have to prune it. It grows, it has that beautiful variegation. The edges of the leaves are pink tipped, and then it gets pink flowers all over it in the spring. So this is the My Monet Purple Effects, and this is by Proven Winners. This one here grows in zone 4 through 6. They only get up to 2.5 feet tall and wide, so it's a little baby shrub, but isn't the coloring on that absolutely beautiful? And again, you don't have to prune this one. We did choose to put 2 trees in the bed, and we chose fairly large trees, but they grow really well in compacted soil. They're used a lot in parking lots. The first one I chose was a red oak. This one's gonna get 60 to 80 feet high. Now, granted, it's gonna take it 30, 40 years to get that big, but it also has a spread of 40 to 50 feet. So it's gonna be this absolutely gorgeous tree. I would call them probably a medium grower. They tolerate a lot of urban stress. They do really well with maple. Oh, and if I didn't say, the red oak grows in zone 5 through 9. Now this here is a maple, and I chose to use an autumn blaze maple. This one has a really dense rounded canopy. It really is a beautiful tree. Again, 50 to 60 feet high, 30 to 35 feet wide. This one has a hardier cold tolerance, all the way to minus, let's see, zone 3 would be minus 40. So that's a great cold hardiness. This guy grows in zone 3 through 7. This is actually a faster growing tree, so it's a really good tree. It grows well in compacted soil, and you know, they're not in a row. One's forwards, one's back. And originally I was gonna put a ginkgo in here too, but I feel like I don't have enough room for the ginkgo, so I don't know that I'm gonna put it in. But I'm really pleased with how everything looks and how everything turned out. Oh, I'm just tickled. I love how this patio turned out. So this is a Unilock product called Westport. I love this pattern that Kimmy put in here. This is the Sierra color, and then you can see we've outlined the edge with the Belgium edgers because we don't want the black mulch to come on over onto the patio. I love how this turned out. I love this little bed that we did here. Now, yes, these are Duravillas. They will grow in full sun. They'll grow pretty much in any kind of soil. The one that I chose to use was the Kodiak Black, and they're starting to get their fall color on them. They'll grow in full sun, or they'll grow in part shade. They grow in zone 4 through 7. They get 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. So in this full sun area, they're probably going to get all of 4 feet. Aren't these absolutely gorgeous? I just love these. So we put 4 of those in here along the edge. If we move further in, you can see I did plant 3 grasses in here. I have these in my cottage garden. I love these. This is a panicum, but it's a short panicum. They only get about 36 inches high, so that's pretty short for a grass. They have this beautiful red coloring throughout them. They get about 18 inches wide, but it's really got a nice, dense, upright, clump forming habit. Look at the little, I don't know if you can see the panicles on there. See how they're red. Aren't they just gorgeous? So I put 3 of them in here, and they'll fill out this area. And grasses do pretty well in compacted soil. They're drought tolerant. So their maintenance over here, they'll have to cut the grasses back once a year, because the Duravillas, you really don't have to do anything to them, and you really don't have to prune them if you don't want to. So it's been a couple days since we've been on the job site. We had rain, we went through a weekend. I did send 2 guys over yesterday and they started building the pergola. I was out of town, so I did not capture that. It's not 100% done, but they got a lot of it done. Today we are building the seat wall that sits behind the patio. A seat wall is basically a wall that comes up to the back of your leg so that when you sit down, it's right where your seat is. So they're building that today. We're using an estate wall from Unilock, and it's going to be back here behind the patio. We will also get the footings done tomorrow and get hopefully the pergola in place and finish everything up. The guys are going to also go get the spar dust and they're going to work that around the beds. I can't stay here today. I've got too much going on, but I'll run back and forth in and out and try to capture pieces of it as they move along. So here's the seat wall. See, they've been moving along quite a bit since I was here. They didn't really have to do any compaction or leveling because we had that all done. So they were able to really just start building the wall when they got here. And we're building this. It'll probably be another brick higher and then there'll be a cap. So see right here on the end, that's kind of how it's going to end up right there. And then we still have to finish the edging that will go here. And we have to put the spar dust around here, all of that. And then we still have to run the edging along the front, put the pots in place, and put our rock here in the front of all of that, get our spar dust down. So see, there's a little bit left to do. Now here's the pergola here. You can see they did a great job starting to put this together. It'll take quite a few guys to move it into place. We still have to put the panels on for the roof, and then get the footings in. But I'm really liking how this one looks. It's a nice looking pergola and it's really heavy duty. We are finally finished. I am so excited with how this turned out. The guys put the roof on today. They finished sanding the patio and we got the piles of debris totally gone from the property and spread the rest of the gravel on the back side of the lot. I think this turned out so good. I know I just got here and they were sitting outside. They had a drink. They were planning what their grill was going to be. This is so cool because now they can enjoy this space with all of their employees and come out here and just totally hang out. Let's take a closer look. Talk about a before and after. Wow, what a difference. And none of the plants have even had a chance to grow yet. Just imagine next year and the year after, 5 years from now, how much bigger all of that will be, and the living wall that will completely cover this fence. And I bet you it's more than halfway covered by the end of next year because the clematis that we chose are pretty fast growing. I love everything about this space. I love that they have these beds that they can grow vegetables and herbs in. I am so happy that I chose the spar dust, the put down on the ground to walk on, because it is so much easier to walk on this compacted material and it's so much prettier than it would have been if we had just used rose gravel. So I'm loving it. I love the pots that we put in here and the patio. I think it turned out so well. I like the brick that we picked. We have the nice flagstone that leads in. We decided not to put the pots here just in case any trucks came through and they were in the way, but we did end up putting some big boulders there and there, and we have another one down here. We did that just so that there was just a little extra protection so that no trucks would drive in that area. I love the pergola. I like the hard top roof on it. It does have the curtains on there if they want to close them. I just think this turned out so well. They've got room for their grill over here. I like the seat wall that's on here that they can just have extra seating there. If they decide they want to do any kind of games or they want to do a fire pit or extra chairs, they've got room to do that out here. They've added their little bird feeder in here. I think that's so sweet. And the plants are all doing really well, so I'm really pleased with that. We chose plants that can handle being in compacted soil, so I'm ecstatic at over how all of this looks. I know that they are extremely happy with how everything turned out. And for a parking lot at the back of a building, don't you guys think that this is definitely a transformation? I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you found it fun to transform this parking lot into a place of beauty for these employees at this company. I had a good time doing this. Don't forget, Garden Gab is this Saturday, and we are going to answer viewer submission questions from all of the previous videos over the last 2 weeks, and we're going to share all those beautiful pictures that you guys sent in, so make sure you tune in for that. I'm Michelle, you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye, everybody.